There we go. Hello, Michael Knight. How are you this morning?
New York Vinnie, it's a Freaky Fractious Friday. I welcome you to your own show. Did you know the New York Vinnie had a show?
No, it's not. This is not New York Vinnie show. This is Michael Knight and New York Vinnie show. And don't you ever forget that we've been fucking partners
For a
for
while.
longer than most of the marriages I know have lasted.
That unfortunately is true. It's
Yeah.
unfortunate for their marriages. It's great for us.
Yeah, I mean, you think about it. You and I have been appearing on the radio together, or television, or whatever, since 1986.
Even basic cable.
Yeah, even the Northwest Cable News when we took over for Wayne Cody.
Yeah, that was fun.
Because we are partners. We've had disagreements in our professional lives, but
Of course, we disagreed on whether we were going to be Mariners fans, and then eventually we capitulated.
Yeah, it was kind of a tough thing there. But you know, we're partners, and you know, I think about that we have been together. This is obviously 2026, so we are 26, and then 40 years.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, 40 years. And it's been, if you think about it, it's not just that we have jumped, we jump on the internet and do a show. We have been on the air together at KKCY, at KRQR, when we were working one down the hall, one down the other hall at CBS, at Cairo, at KPQ, right?
KPQ Wenatchee, KMJ Fresno, K
Right.
News Palm Springs, KFWB Los Angeles.
Where else? ESPN radio. I think you did a bit or two with me when I was doing ESPN radio back in the 90s.
And I was even at the payphone down at the home. Over to the home, I'm sorry.
Yeah. KDKA.
Yeah. Did I ever go on there? I think I went on there once.
Yeah, you were on there with me. You were on a couple of times with me. Certainly when I did AM Talk over there, you were on with me once. I remember. Did a couple of AM talk shows there, general talk shows. So we have found a way to be on the air with each other for 40 years. Kind of incredible if you think about it. Not many people I know in the radio business get a chance to be creative together. And we've had some pretty creative stuff. We've had some stinkers, but we've also had some pretty creative stuff when you think about it. And we've stayed friends the entire time. Through office chairs being swung through the studio.
That can't be helped. That can never be helped. It has to be done. If you have a folding chair and you don't know what to do with it, throw it like Bobby Knight.
Yeah, exactly. It's just and it's just a it's a pretty cool thing, Michael. I've told you this before. I owe the success in this business to you. There's no doubt about that. I mean, I certainly brought talent to the table, but I wouldn't have gotten many of the breaks that I got along the way without you. From the Met stuff to the to back in '86 to all of the
driving the Cincinnati Reds team bus. There was
Astros. It was the Astros.
Yeah.
And the
and did they ever thank you properly for driving that damn team bus from city to city?
No. Neither did the Republicans for driving the bus so I could get the team out of town so they could have their convention.
Keeping the team away from the Republicans, which was a public service.
In Texas, it is, yeah. So, I'm just, as we open the show, I don't know why I'm getting nostalgic about this, but it's an honor and a privilege, and it's been a great.
And the duty.
Yeah, yeah, sometimes it's been a duty. I'm sure that you had, I mean, listen, both of us are strong-willed people. Both of us are people who see things differently, but that's what makes our thing work. Is because we don't look at things the same. We don't look at things, you look at it, it's almost like you look at it in a California way, but with because you spent time in New York, a good sense of a New Yorker. I look at things
You got
in
to
a
know
New
how to walk
York
down the
way,
street. Yeah.
but with a good sense of California because I lived there for so long. So we got both. We got both things going on. It's probably
That's why
why
so
it's
many
worked.
I think it's why so many New Yorkers come to California, because they need the atmosphere of New York where everybody's a wise guy, but they want the sun to be out and they want it to be comfortable. And you can go to Zabar's, you can go to the Gourmet Garage, or you can go to Trader Joe's, depending on what town you're in.
Yeah.
You got to eat.
And make no mistake about it. And I've always said this. If New York City had the same weather that California does, there'd be 25 million people living there.
Same thing can be said about Seattle.
I think there are 25 million people in New York when you take into account the suburbs. So it is Friday. It's a fractious Friday. The Knicks pulled off a stunning rebuke to the San Antonio Spurs.
That was a big story because of the nature of the comeback. It's just fitting that it overshadowed the Giants' comeback. Giants were down 8 runs in the 8th inning and came back to win in the 9th, 11-10, with a grand slam home run, walking off the whole shebang. And that would have been a big sports story if it had been anybody but the Giants, because nobody cares if they win or lose. That's an exaggeration, but somewhat true from the ESPN point of view. And the fact that ESPN and ABC owned the comeback over the Spurs by the Knicks and made that the most giant sports story of a generation. And I watched that game. Were you watching that game?
No. I went back and watched a long set of highlights, and there is a package that somebody put together on YouTube that takes the announcers' stuff out of it. Doesn't let you listen to the event, just the crowd reaction in Madison Square Garden, and that's the tape you want to hear. That's the video.
Made everybody deaf.
That you want to listen to. That will get you as excited as if you were watching it live.
I love the picture of Seinfeld standing on the court, just going. He could not believe what he had just witnessed. He was not convinced that the game was over and that his team had won. He had to be reassured that the score on the scoreboard was correct, and he simply did not believe what he had seen.
Well, it's Broadway. I mean, people forget that Madison Square Garden is close to Broadway. It's a block away. It's part of the Broadway scene. It's where it begins.
And if you wonder why the Garden didn't appear to be square, the Garden isn't square. Madison Square is where the Garden is. But you have to figure that out.
Yeah, the Garden, the original.
Figure that out.
Yeah. It's just it was a stunning comeback. Most stunning comeback in NBA history.
Everybody seems to believe that the series is over, but I think that if you heard that and you're the San Antonio Spurs and the game is coming to your home, that you'd play differently, that you don't play as if it's over. I can't imagine. I can't imagine this thing not going 7.
Yeah, I didn't. I was shocked that people, and I consider New York fans, especially New York basketball fans, to be very knowledgeable fans.
Yeah, you're right.
New York basketball fans may be even more knowledgeable about basketball than baseball fans are. And it's a pretty astute crowd, and it is shocking to me. Now, the average fan is going to go Knicks in four. I mean, that's Uncle Mush is going to sit on the stoop with the transistor radio going Knicks in four. Yeah, okay.
We'll see.
Knock yourself out if that's what you want to believe. But anybody who observes the game, anybody who watches the game, did not believe that the Knicks were going to win this thing in four. Probably don't think they'll win it in five.
You can see a lot just by looking.
Yeah, and if you use your eyes instead of your mouth, amazing things happen. So anyway, so this will progress. The storyline of keep that son of a bitch away from the team, in referring to the president of the United States, is stronger than ever.
I mean, the guy who's negotiated
New Yorker now believes, undoubtedly, that Trump is a jinx on the Knicks. If it goes to a game 7, would it go back to the Garden? I forget now. Would 7 be in the Garden?
This is going to be game 5. Used to be 2-3-2.
Yeah, but I think they changed it. I'll have to look at it. I'll look at it in a second. But I think
it has to come back to the Garden.
Yeah, I think at the idea that keep this guy away from our team has taken full hold on the radio stations and the average New Yorker.
Keep him away from me, too.
Even the ones that voted for him, even the ones that love him, are like, keep him away from the team. And I got no problem with that. He's going to have a problem with it. He'll probably have James Dolan under investigation by Sunday night.
That wouldn't be arrested.
He'll have that little rat bastard FBI director of his trying to figure out some way. But anyway, a great series that has the country watching basketball again.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know that basketball was at the top of everybody's list, but this in sports to watch and up against the World Cup, it's really funny because everybody's like, World Cup. Yeah. You know what? Who gives a crap?
If you're
from Ecuador or someplace like that, but
Paraguay,
yeah, or Greece or Italy, yeah, you're like looking, but it's Seattle. There's definitely interest here and more interest here because there's a match with Iran playing here, so that's gonna come up, I'm sure. But right now, everybody is in New York is on the Knicks
certainly
page. Yeah, they're on that show, they're on that bus. What I really find interesting too is I was watching. Was it Jimmy Kimmel? Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel always does this thing every year where he'll send a reporter down to the opposing NBA city of one team, and he'll try to get their fans to, the San Antonio fans to put Knicks stuff on. Now,
cut
I can
from
tell
us.
you that bit would work in New York. There's no self-respecting Knicks fan is going to put a San Antonio T-shirt or jersey or basketball shirt or hat or anything on. But it shocked me how easily the San Antonio fan, the average San Antonio fan walking down the Riverwalk there, would take off their shirt and put the Knicks shirt on.
And read what they were told in front of them.
Exactly. And the other thing too, Michael, was the biggest cheer in San Antonio has nothing to do with the Knicks. It's fuck New York. I mean, that's the best that they can do. But and there was a clip on last night of a local reporter in San Antonio, and he's doing the, the so worn out shot of doing the weather in front of the fans who are all assembled at whatever bar or this or that, and the guy did 5 minutes of people literally walking up to the microphone, him pleading with them to keep it family friendly. And you know that as soon as you say that, you might as well just say to the person, just say F you into the mic.
And get it over with.
Get it over with.
Which is what they did, and it was pretty damn funny.
Yeah, and it was pretty funny because nobody that walked up to that microphone did not say F New York.
And for those who think that's a damning condemnation, New Yorkers have heard that before. It's going to take a little bit more than that to get them riled.
Heard it. They invented the phrase. Everybody that, every person that lives in New York City at one time or another since they've been born has said, fuck New York.
Trying to get a cab in the rain.
Fuck New York. But it is what it is. So I'm excited about watching the rest of the series, and more excited than I've been about an NBA game since the Sonics were a basketball team.
We don't have to wait much longer. Tomorrow is Game 5.
Yeah, I completely lost most of my interest in the NBA, especially the season, the players, the Warriors. I paid some attention to, but not as much as if I would have. I just was so upset at the way the team was whipped from Seattle in the stereotypical way that David Stern and Clay, what's his name there?
Clay Dalrymple.
Yeah, and Clay Dalrymple and the NBA conspired to get the city out of here, to get the team out of here, and of course the city playing into their hands.
Exactly, all the players played into their hands,
doing everything that they could to help them along. So anyway, and that's sports. Yeah. It's just it's exciting. It's when you look at the excitement of people gathered on street corners in Astoria and Bryant Park and Central Park and Flushing Meadow Park and all of these different places that New Yorkers have gathered to enjoy. And listen, I'm not going to say it's been perfect. There's been, as there is, unfortunately, in New York and many places, anytime you get a group of people together, idiots. But
you mean the people trying to manhandle Wimby when he was heading to the?
Well, not just that, but those people, the people that have to become so, they have to get violent, they have to beat people up, they have to start fights. The idiots, the people who can't just go to an event and enjoy the event. They have to somehow interject themselves into the proceedings so that they are either get arrested or, it's the basketball equivalent of the guy who runs on the field.
We had somebody run on the court in this series.
Did they? I didn't see that. I'm not
game 3, I believe.
Yeah, I'm not thinking it's a smart thing for to run up. It's like the idiot that runs onto the field in a football game. You just got to be a nitwit.
You want to meet one of the linebackers? It won't be long now.
Yeah, you'll see him in a minute. Well, you'll see his helmet. You'll without a doubt see the person's helmet, and all that they can offer in that sense of force that greets you.
Mass and gravity.
Yeah, when your inertia meets their inertia plus their mass.
And your mass is compelled by gravity to go to the ground.
Yeah. Anyway, so that's the sporting life, part of things this morning. I'm just excited about it. Excited about your Giants win. It has to feel good. I mean, it may not be the entire season or anything, but when a team isn't doing good, and trust me, I know I'm been a Mets fan for how long. Sometimes you take the little victories that happen on an individual day, the great game pitched by Pete Falcone, or the Pat Zachary shutout or something, and you take those and you live on those because you don't have the full seasons at the present time. You've had them before, and you'll have them again.
Not today.
But not this year, not today. You just take that comeback of 8 runs, 9 runs, whatever it was, and live with that. Right?
Like Donald Trump has to live with his name coming off the Kennedy Center.
I think
the deadline is today. It must come off.
Yeah, I think. Let me check this. I think there's somebody actually broadcasting it live on YouTube.
Of course.
Streaming it live, which I would have a watch party for. Matter of fact, I'm going to check out YouTube while we're sitting here. I wish that the judge would have ordered that he go out there and have to sit in a chair and watch it.
A folding chair, a lawn chair.
Yeah, while they were doing it. While they were taking it off. There's no torture that can happen to that guy. No embarrassment. First of all, he can't be embarrassed. But there's nothing that can happen to him that I wouldn't feel joyous about. I don't want to see him get murdered. I don't want to see him get get killed or assassinated or anything like that. Because that's. But the amount of people that he's hurt, the amount of people that he's screwed, the amount of people, the embarrassment that he causes to people, the shitty way he treats people like they're his servants. I mean, what he did to Kristen Welker in that interview on Meet the Press, he just ought to be. I wouldn't want to. I don't know. I wouldn't. You just look at something like that and you go, "Man, have you no class?"
No.
And the answer is no.
Don't expect that to be a factor.
But what I'm more embarrassed about, to be honest with you, is the fact that Kristen Welker went on Meet the Press yesterday, the Daily Show, and made sure that she informed everybody that Donald Trump called her or she called him and they talked, and he'll make an appearance again in the near future for another interview.
Of course he will.
And I just, I found it disgusting.
Just likes being on. He likes being on TV. It doesn't matter where.
He's just such a shitty human being. And I don't know. I just look at him and sorry, I'll be right there. I have to. I have a bit of a runny nose this morning. And did not have my usual box of tissues that I've learned to keep.
Where's that nose off to? Does it know where it's going?
Where's the nose?
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's right here, right now. Anyway, the whole thing with Kristen Welker and NBC acceding, I'm sure, to his wishes, just disgust me. I lost a lot. To be honest with you, I've lost a lot of respect for her. I thought she was actually a pretty good host of Meet the Press. And the fact that she has just bent down to kiss his ass and blaming the problems in their interview on the rain. Not the fact that she's a fine reporter and that she pressed him for answers that he could not provide. He couldn't. She asked him for he charged that the California election was rigged. And she asked him for the primary election. She asked him for proof. And he said, just look at it.
Right there, just look.
Just look. I'm Donald Trump. I told you it is. So you're supposed to believe me. And the fact that he gets away with that, the fact that he is allowed, that news organizations allow him to berate their employees.
Which Wall Street will take away his ability to comment. Wall Street's following his comments especially about the war, where he's got a solution every 30 minutes. It's done. We just have to agree on the blah, 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 that the framework is done. The Ayatollah's kid is on board. Everything is done. It's negotiated. It's wrapped. We're going to give me 30 minutes. We'll have this thing all figured out. And Wall Street hears that, or a variation of that, and they've heard it for the last month, and they react to it. Hard to believe that they would make investment decisions based on the utterances of this lying son of a bitch. But the fact is they do, or Wall Street has. And the news organizations this morning are saying, Trump tells us that this war is over. It's just a matter of signing the paperwork. It's just a matter of scubbing up a few details. And that doesn't look to be the case. How many times can he pull that? How many times can he announce the war is completed? 20 times?
Sure. Well, he can do it as many times as he wants for one simple reason. You and I both have people that we know that are either our friends on Facebook or one way or the other that believe everything he says, that will look at whatever he says and believe it, and will support him in whatever he says. I got a guy, and it's a personal, somebody I know personally. I don't know that I'd call him a friend. I used to call him a friend, but this guy sends me no exaggeration, 7 to 10 messages every day. Anytime I say something about Trump. So on June 9th or June 8th, I put a thing up there on my feed. Fun fact for tonight's San Antonio Knicks game, first time in history that the president of the United States has been convicted of more felonies than the players on the court. So this guy writes to me, and I'm not going to name him because there's a lot of people in our audience that would know who it is. Because he used to hold a position of note in this town. Not a political position, but a position of note. And he sends me this thing saying, stupid, Vinnie, quit it. We all know you have TDS. And this is a guy who will literally lick whatever's coming out of his asshole. He'll drink it. He's a what I call a Trump bean juicer, which is pretty disgusting. But I finally got, and usually I just ignore it, but yesterday I got pissed off enough about it that I wrote him back. And these people just get to a point where how do you ignore it? How do you keep taking this stuff?
Where his actions have torpedoed the international economy. He's single-handedly worse than COVID. He is dismantling the financial structure of the world's trading partners and can't seem to understand that he's done it. Can't understand the scope of the damage he's done. He's the Antichrist. He's tearing it all apart. It's coming apart at the seams based on his actions, his beliefs, his comments.
I don't know how any reasonable person can look at this guy and say that he's good for this country. He's somebody that that you think is going to do the right thing for this country.
Just because he promised that he would.
He and I hate doing this because I feel like we're beating a dead horse with these we're talking about him. But there's things that he does that upset me so that I can't understand how people look at this guy and think he's a leader of any general form.
How do they not understand? How do they not even get a glimmer of understanding from watching him in action? Watching him asleep at the Madison Square Garden.
You know who was in Madison Square Garden too for that game?
It was quite a Kid Rock was there. I mean, not Kid Rock, the comedian. Chris Rock.
Chris Rock. No.
John Bon Jovi.
The former president of the United States was also in the building. Barack Obama.
No.
Came in, had a couple of Secret Service guys with him, sat in some seats in, a few rows off the floor, signed some autographs, had his picture taken with a few people. No sitting behind bulletproof glass. No sitting next to Dolan. Certainly no falling asleep during the game. No stuffing whatever it was. I couldn't tell what it was that he was stuffing in his mouth. Disgusting pig. But that's the difference. He'll never be able to do that. Even if tomorrow morning President SLAPDICK had an epiphany, and he said, boy, have I been an idiot. I'm going to, nationalize health care, and I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, and I'm going to make a lot of people better, and I'm going to increase Social Security payments and this and that. He could do all of that stuff. And he still would not be able to walk into Madison Square Garden or any venue with a couple of Secret Service people and sit down and take selfies with people. He'll never, ever be loved as much as Barack Obama is loved. Now, I didn't agree with everything Barack Obama did when he was president. I didn't think, I think there was some, I think he had some failures. But you know what? When he had failures, he admitted them. He said, boy, this didn't work out the way I thought it was going to work out. And he tried to leave people with something. Something that you could look back at his presidency and say, at least he got Obamacare through. At least my kids have insurance today because he worked on that. Or people that work at General Motors and Ford can say, I have a job today because President Obama, the President of the United States, took action to save the automotive industry. What will Trump be able to say when his term is over?
Well, whatever it will be, it'll be a series of lies stacked on further lies on a foundation of lies, followed up by more lies. And the next day, come by and ask him again, and he'll lie about what he lied about and lie some more. He is not capable of the truth.
Never has been.
And the truth that he is capable of is a very dark truth. The economic situation of the planet is far worse, thanks to Donald Trump, than it was before he took office. And the long-term damage that he's done and that he's doing today may take generations to fix.
He's never been able to tell the truth. When he was living in New York, he couldn't tell the truth. When he was appearing on the talk shows, he couldn't tell the truth. When he would buy buildings in New York and lose money on them, he couldn't tell the truth. He couldn't tell the truth to the New Jersey Casino Control, the Gaming Control Commission.
And he never seemed to be able to tell the truth to the poor guys who did the white wall, the drywall, and never got paid for it.
You couldn't tell him the truth. You couldn't say, I'm not going to pay you. What just a complete piece of crap. And I just I don't mean to be again on him all the time, but he's just somebody who the longer he's president, the more it disgusts me. What has he done for anybody? Tell me.
He's increased the level of aggravation and despair and hate and disagreements. He's single-handedly divided the nation in a ugly, perhaps permanent way. And he will be remembered as, I think, the Antichrist of politicians.
He's yeah.
And that just scratches the surface.
He's just again, he is and all he's done is make himself and his friends rich, cause problems, dismantle our status in the country. You know what? He has done one thing, Michael. He has done one thing. He's created a cult. He's probably created as good a cult as you have ever seen out there.
You don't have to drink the Kool-Aid to be a part of it, but it helps.
Well, Jim Jones didn't charge for the Kool-Aid, did he?
I think it might have been free, complimentary.
Yeah, Trump would charge you for the Kool-Aid, which would be probably the only hope that those people would have had of getting out of there.
And it's the only time you'll see Trump. I like that. It's the only time you'll see Trump getting involved with a no-host bar.
Just a sad situation that is getting more and more absurd.
Well, I can change the subject before we get too morose and ask you, what are you driving this weekend?
You know, I was just punching that up here on now my unfortunately my computer has been doing some strange things. So I'm going to try to get this going here and try to find where the proper place. For some reason, I have to try to figure this out. But if I transfer a movie that I make into my computer, it somehow changes it to a HEIC file, which I have no idea what is. Normally, if it's a MOV file, it'll just play. So I have to spend the next second while we're talking, trying to figure this out and seeing if I can at least get this into a
movie file,
a file that I can show you. Okay, here's a JPG. We'll have to do it without a moving thing. I'll just have to show you the car as a still photo, because I can't for the life of me figure this out, and it's extremely frustrating. One day I'm going to have to try to figure it out. One day I'm going to have to learn how to use computers, Michael. But
maybe tomorrow.
What I'm driving this week, and it should come up here in a second, is the Kia K4 GT line. Now, Kia makes a great little car. I like Kia. I got a lot of respect for what they do. I think it's one of the great stories in automotive comebacks in automotive building that this was a company who had cars back in the 90s that were pieces of crap. Uh, you probably remember that when we first started driving cars together, they would send Kias and the doors would move back and forth when you closed them. And it was really a poorly built car.
It was
And
unusual for an Asian product.
yeah, but it was the Koreans' not first attempt at cars, but they were certainly learning
Hmm.
along the way. And they really weren't able to um, get it right for a long time. But they did a smart thing. They went out and they hired a guy named Peter Schreier. And Peter Schreier was a designer at Audi. And he was the guy that took Audi from there. Remember that they had a period in the 80s where literally the same thing happened to them. Their cars were pieces of junk.
Hard to believe you're talking about the same Audi company, isn't it?
Yeah, but their cars were pieces of junk. And Schreier went to Audi and designed cars that were clearly advanced, clearly ahead of their time, clearly cars that were hit a note of what people wanted. They weren't mass acceptance cars, but they were really nice cars. They ran good for the most part. Matter of fact, many people would probably say that they were over engineered, but they were really sharp, beautiful looking cars. And Audi went from this car that nobody wanted to buy into a car that many people wanted to buy and rose up the ranks of luxury cars. Well, but move ahead to the 2000s, and Kia is having this problem, quality control and this and that and the other thing. So what does Kia do? They go out and they hire the same guy.
Wow.
And they pay him a crap ton of money, and they bring him over to Kia. And they say to him, design cars that people want to buy. And they're also taken over by Hyundai at that point, and Hyundai dumps a bunch of money into them, and they just have they get their act together over the next 10 years. And Schreier comes and I've met Peter Schreier. I've talked to him at events. He's just a sharp guy who has an innate sense of what people want in a car. And so after some failures, again, they didn't turn it over overnight, Schreier comes out with these different Kias that people want. And the company now, outsells most cars. Now, they're not quite considered on the same level as Toyota yet, but they're close, and they sell a lot of cars. And they sell, and they also started building cars that were economy cars, but they would go back and they would do versions of these cars that were peppy, fun to drive, interesting cars. And this
What do you
is
think of
one
the
of the
car
great,
yourself?
excuse me?
What do you think of this car to your experience with it, short as it may
Well,
be?
I just drove it a couple of days. This is a K4. So this is an economy car. But what they did with this car is they put everything in a book in this car, an 8-speed automatic transmission. They got away from that dreadful transmission that they were using that wasn't doing too good. They put a 190 horsepower turbocharged engine in this thing. They put nice wheels on it, competition type tires, black accents, one of the most well designed interiors that I've ever seen, up to the point where the designs of the back of the seats are as unique as you will see in any car.
Unusual.
So they're comfortable, and they run like a top. Again, not everyone, but most of them. Great heated front seats, massaging seats, a Harman Kardon audio system, and it's a stunningly nice car to drive. You get in it, and it's got power. It looks, again, spectacular. I mean, I wish the video worked, and we'll have it working for tomorrow's drive time at 11 o'clock. But the way they designed the front, the way they work the headlights into the design line of the car. One really completely unique thing that they do in this car that I love is it's a 4-door, but yet the door handles on the rear 2 doors are recessed into the car in the window pillar. So you don't notice that the car has 4 doors. It looks like a 2-door, which, again, for a lot of people, that exemplifies a sports car to have 2 doors. And they put it all in a package that runs about $40,000, soup to nuts. And you can take this car and put it right up with the Corolla, the Sport Corolla, the Sport Civic, and have a car that people look at. Front wheel drive. I don't know if, this one might be all-wheel drive, actually, but I don't know that for sure. So I'll have to take a look at it. The black trim is done right. The lighting is done right. The sunroof opens up. And on a day like we had yesterday, it was so nice to have that sunroof. This replaces the Kia Forte. And I think that dollar for dollar, if you're looking at Honda, if you're looking at Toyota, and that you would be doing yourself a disservice if you didn't go to the Kia dealer and take a look at this car. And that's what I'm driving this week, Michael. Kia has always been one of my favorite cars. They've had their problems, but I still think that they are a well-intentioned car company. The only car company I know that has a street gang named after them.
Huh.
And that happened because they were stupid. They tried to save a little money by not putting the electronic device that disables ignitions in cars. But hey, we can't be perfect all the time.
Well, will we hear more about this on your show tomorrow at 11 o'clock?
I promise you tomorrow that we will hear more about this car. We will hear more about the Land Rover that I drove a couple of weeks ago. We will take a trip out to Lake Chelan, and I will give you a hot tip on a very good place to eat.
How are the fires doing out there in Chelan?
I haven't noticed any fires. Maybe there are, and I missed them. Is there stuff going on out there? Because
there was last week.
Yeah, there were no fires out there when I was out there on Memorial Day weekend.
Excellent, good news.
I don't know what's going on since then. I'll have to take a look, but But you know what? It's fire season, Michael. And we didn't have a wet winter. We had a relatively dry winter. And so, as a matter of fact, they have issued warnings to people saying, get prepared now for fire season. Surround your house with tanks of water. You know, put yourself in the best possible position to fight a fire, or at the very least, have a bag packed so that if a fire truck comes down the street and says to you,
time to
get out,
evacuate.
that a smart thing to do would be get out. Don't stick around and try to save probably. Now, the fire they were talking about in Chelan, I guess, was the Chestnut Fire. It's about 1,500 acres. No structures have been lost, and no injuries have been reported, which is always the best possible news that you want to hear. Now, before I let you go, I guess there's a little bit of finality about those California political races, right?
Well, I think we've called the races in terms of picking the top two that will go at each other in the general election.
Right, and the nut job is no longer in the picture, right?
Jeremy Pratt has been included out.
He sounds like a psycho.
He's quite mad. It's not inspiring at all. It's a little funny, but then the humor is lost when you realize that it's for real. That he came close to getting involved in the runoff, but it's not to be.
I guess that's good. That's good news. So anyway, yeah, we'll have, and I just wanted to check on it because we have a lot of people that listen from California that are interested. So I'm sure they want to know. Although it happened a few days ago, so they probably know already. What are your big plans for the weekend?
Well, we got baseball with Boaster the Toaster. I don't know exactly what we'll be playing. My sister is back from Italy. I'll probably get a debriefing from her about what Bologna was like.
Nice.
And
tell her I said hello.
Sure, I will. What else?
Some kind of baseball and quietness.
Baseball and quiet, and we got the Knicks tomorrow.
And the Knicks tomorrow. Don't forget that Sunday is the president's birthday, so you may want to celebrate that.
I'm going to hold off on that until I know more.
What really sucks for me is that his birthday is my parents' anniversary.
Oh, that's a cruel slash of fate.
It's the day that I used to, celebrate in some shape, manner, or form, and now I celebrate it, but in a less. It's also Flag Day, so what are you gonna do?
Don't burn a flag. Well, you can burn your flag if you want, but
I'm not a flag burner. Yeah. I am one of those people that realize what that the flag means something, and so I'm just not a flag burner. Even at the height of the whole Vietnam War thing and everything, I just was not a person that thought that burning the flag that my father wanted to fight for, and that it. I mean, I won't argue. If you want to burn the flag, you go burn.
You just have to get another one.
Yeah.
Go to Target and go to the flag department.
Yeah, if you want to burn a flag, that's your business. If you feel that way, I feel sorry for you because I think that we should try to feel proud of the flag of our country. But I certainly understand people these days that don't feel proud of the American flag. It's a lot easier to not be proud of America these days.
it's a struggle to keep your admiration in check
Well,
because of the challenges that are made to our way of life by ourselves. We are our own worst enemy now,
yeah.
and that's not a good position to be in.
As a friend of mine told me many years ago, she said to me, "Find the right. Look into a situation and try to find the right, as opposed to the bad.
Or
As
go
opposed,
to the light.
yeah, just find the right." And so that's what I look at with America, because I know deep down in our, and I'm not going to get all mushy here, but I know deep down that we're a good people who have fallen behind. Many of us have, many of them have fallen behind. They have a disease. We've talked about this many times over the years, that I truly believe we have this
Trump
country,
fever.
even before Trump. I mean, he was the manifestation of it. He was the sore you get on your lip when you have herpes. That's Trump. So he's not he's not the whole disease, but he's a sure sign of it. And so we got to do what we can do to treat the disease in this country, to treat mental illness, to try to understand why people are feeling the way, why there's this sense of hopelessness that has taken over kids in this country, young people. And why older people feel that we should make weapons of mass destruction available to these people while they are mentally ill.
Every Boy Scout should have an automatic weapon.
Yeah. I don't, those are the things that I hope some candidate comes in and tries to fix. And I hope that we're not so far gone that we don't listen to them. Whether it be man, woman, black, white, whatever. We got some work. We have some work to do in this country.
Plenty of work to do, plenty of catching up and fixing to be responsible for.
Yeah, we should
fix it right.
Right. We should change our national anthem to Work to Do by the Isley Brothers, as opposed to the Star Spangled Banner for a couple of years. Which is one of my
if they sing that at the Nick game, I'll know it's because of you.
I got work to do. All right. See you tomorrow for drive time.
11 o'clock.
11 o'clock. Please be here. Please join me. I hate being on the radio alone. And otherwise, I'll see you on Monday
it is.
At 10:10. If the Lord's will and the creek don't rise. Go Knicks. And continue on, my friend. Peace.
Resume
love,
speed.
Manischewitz, baby.
It's quite a wine, I assure you. See you, Ben.
See you, Mikey. Take care. Thank you all for listening, too. We always appreciate it.
Indeed.